Good morning, Pre-K. Let's go ahead and start our Bible lesson with some of the verses. We left off at G, which is God is love. And now we're going to keep going with H. Honor thy father and thy mother. I, if you ask anything in my name, I will do it. J, Jesus said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father except by me. K, keep thy tongue from evil. L, look unto me and be saved. M, my son, give me thine heart. N, no man can serve two masters. Now today, one of the truths of the Bible that we're going to talk about, here's the Bible, is sin. The word sin. It's a short word, right? What letter does it start with? Yes, S. It starts with S. S-I. Yes, S-I-N. Sin. My brother would always tell a joke with my dad, and they would say something like, what did the pastor say? And my brother would say, he talked about sin. And my dad would say, well, what did he say about it? And my brother would say, he was against it. And that's true, right? We should be against sin. That's why we have Bible verses we're learning that say, depart from evil and do good. And other Bible verses that say, keep thy tongue from evil. Well, sin happened when the first two people, do you remember who they are? That's right, they're Adam and Eve. Right, they disobeyed God. What did they do? What was their action of disobedience? God had said, you may eat of any fruit in the garden, just do not eat the fruit from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And they obeyed for a while, didn't they? But then they were tempted and they took the fruit and ate it anyway. And their one sin represents the sin of all the other people that would be born until Jesus brings us to heaven to be with him. So sin, the first people that did it were Adam and Eve. What is it? It's all the bad things that we do. Who does it? Everyone. That's right. Even our pastors and our doctors and our teachers and our principal and our parents and our grandparents. And you want to know the hardest one for me to understand is when I took home my little Calvin baby from the hospital the first time to look at him, when he looked so precious to me and I'd waited so long to have him. He was a sinner. Even that tiny little baby who didn't know how to feed himself was a sinner. Boys and girls, that loud noise is the bells. I'm recording in the junior high math room and they have the bells. So our Bible story today is God is everywhere. Remember I told you this pastor wrote these books using these characters, the bear and the goose, to kind of help us understand. Well, it was Saturday morning and Charity and John had found that Mama and Papa were working in the garden. Their smiles said that they had more questions to ask. If God has no body, then where is he? John asked. That's a good question, said Papa. But we better check what the Bible has to say about it. So Papa got his Bible out and began to read it. It said this, I can never escape from your spirit. I can never get away from your presence. If I go up to heaven, you're there. If I go out on the ocean, you're there. Even your hand will guide me and your strength will support me. God is saying that. And then the writer of the psalm is saying, I can't go anywhere where there's no God. God is everywhere. So the children were very happy to learn that. Just then, Mama came in the room with a tray of milk and cookies. "And so, is God in these cookies?" asked John. "Is he in this glass of milk?" Oh, what a goofy one. Papa said, "No. Since God doesn't have a body, he really isn't in any place at all. When we say God is everywhere, we mean that he knows what is happening everywhere in the whole world, and that he's making things happen everywhere in the whole world." "So what does this teach us about God?" Mama asked Charity. Charity answered, "There isn't anywhere you can go where you could run away from God." "That's right," said Mama. "No matter where you go, God knows where you are. No matter what you do, God knows what you're doing. And he can help you. And you don't ever have to be alone." "Very good," said Papa. "And no matter where you go, even if you fly to the moon and nobody else is there, God is there because he's everywhere." "Are you glad about that?" he asked John and Charity. "Yes," they said. "Especially me," John said, "because I want to fly to the moon someday." So let's just remember, we can never escape from God's Spirit. We can never get away from his presence. Now, sometimes, I'm tying this in with our Bible truth, sin. When we sin, we may feel in our heart that we wish we could get away from God. We wish we didn't know that he knew our thoughts. But do you know he loves us and he wants to forgive us, and he wants us to come to him and say we're sorry. So sin isn't just out there something we do that we have to be content with. We can constantly talk to God about it. I'm sorry. Talk to others if our sin hurt them. I'm sorry. Right? Sin doesn't have to be the main and only thing we think about. God is here. He's everywhere. He knows everything. But let's not forget, he loves us very, very much, even children. And he wants us to want to be with him and love him and do what's right. All right, have a good day, you guys.